Are you feeling stressed, like you are running on empty? Imagine if your day felt less like a sprint and more like a harmonious dance. It's time to switch from autopilot to living fully. Today, we explore how to shift from feeling drained to feeling energized and inspired, using simple evidence-based strategies to lift your everyday energy and bring lightheartedness into your life. Hi friends, welcome to my channel. My name is Dr. Rani. I'm a mental wealth coach and holistic psychiatrist. I help you overcome stress and burnout to unlock your exceptional brilliance and become the best version of yourself. So we've all heard about work-life balance, but really, can there be a work-life balance? Or would it be better to say that there has to be an energetic balance or vibrational energy? So the other way to say this is yin and yang. We all had the concept of opposing forces and how it's like a dance. So we can't say we are not going to work anymore and we are just going to have fun, or we are just going to have a life, as if life is separate from work and as if our personal life is separate from our professional life. Now, those of us who are entrepreneurs, we know that we are running a business and there are ideas that pop up in our mind even in the middle of the night or say late in the evening. So we might want to jot down our thoughts, for example, jot down those ideas. Also, I work with leaders, so I know that sometimes there are deadlines. You can't just park all your work at work 9 to 5 and not do any work later on in the day, later on in the evening. And so we need to be realistic. Is it like I can only have fun or I can only have my life back if I'm not working? Or do I only need to tighten the boundary about how I work? I'm only going to work within 9 to 5. Now, that's an ideal scenario, don't get me wrong. And I definitely would encourage everyone to have a system to keep some boundaries in place, and yet it's not always possible. So there are better ways to deal with this, and I would say it's about looking at our energy, shifting our energy, and throughout the day we do this dance. So how do we balance our energy? First of all, the concept of high vibe energy and low vibe energy. Vibe means vibrational energy. So high vibrational energy is where we feel uplifted, where we also feel lighthearted, where we connect to our passion. And so everyone wants to have that energy, right? And that's how you lead with passion. That's how you lead your teams. That's how you run your business. And of course, there will be times that you don't feel that anymore and you feel low. So when we feel low and we feel serious, that's when we have this contracted energy. It's a low vibrational energy. You can say that the low vibrational energy shows us the signs of an unhealthy work-life balance, meaning we are overworked, we are neglecting our health, neglecting our well-being, we are neglecting our personal relationships, we are feeling exhausted, drained, burnout, we are having disturbed sleep. All of that is associated with the low vibrational energy. And we are taking our work very seriously, maybe even our life very seriously. And so the question needs to be, how can we incorporate the high vibrational energy even when we are at work? And it's okay to feel low from time to time. And also, when we notice that we are in this low place, that's because we are entertaining some low vibrational thoughts, some negative thoughts, some stressful thoughts. So it's like a dance. The more we understand how it works, the more we understand that energy is bound to expand and then it's also bound to contract. And we can play with this understanding. So in this video, I'm going to share with you 3 simple tips to go from feeling stuck and in low vibrational mode to uplifting and feeling energized. Would you be interested? If so, carry on watching. The first tip is to ask the right questions and question our stressful thinking. What do I mean by ask the right questions? Think about it. Sometimes we ask questions like, oh, why is this happening to me? Why do I need to do this work? Why is everyone so annoying? Those are the questions we ask ourselves. I wonder how I can shift this. I wonder what I need to do next. I wonder how I can shift my energy. Who do I need to be in order to change my relationship with work? What do I need right now? Who do I need to speak to? Who can I confide with? So all those are the right questions to ask, because sometimes we all need help and sometimes we need to slow down in order to ask ourselves these questions and question your thoughts, because thoughts come disguised as the truth. And so when you are feeling stressed, that's the worst time to believe your thinking. And you can tell yourself, I don't need to believe this thought. The more you tell yourself that I don't need to believe this, the less pressure you feel from the thoughts and the less burden you feel from the thinking that you have got. And then you realize the thoughts come and go anyway, and fresh thoughts come to you, fresh ideas come to you as to how you can shift your balance, how you can deal with the challenge you're facing. My second tip is practice CLANG. You might say, whoa, what's CLANG, Rani? Well, CLANG is an acronym. C stands for connect, L stands for learn, A stands for active, N stands for notice, G stands for give. Now, you might think these random words you have come up with. Actually, no, this is evidence-based. In 2008, the Wellbeing Center of the New Economics Foundation was commissioned to explore, to find the evidence about what people are doing worldwide to look after their well-being. And they came up with hundreds and hundreds of activities people were doing, and they boiled it down to 5 themes. And this is called the 5 ways to well-being. Of course, they excluded the nutrition, which is an integral part to look after our well-being, because they said we already have a campaign, eat 5 different types of fruits and vegetables, so they did not include the nutrition bit. But I think the 5 ways for well-being is a really catchy title, and they capture those 5 different things you can do. So connect, learn, be active, notice, and give. I am going to bring in a different twist to this. Okay, rather than just doing this, I'm also going to bring the being element to this list of 5 ways to well-being. If you like this content, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. So let's go to connect. And how is this going to help with the yin and the yang? How is it going to help us balance our energy, shift our energy? Well, connection, as we know, is integral and an important part of life. When we are busy working, we might disconnect from someone else, disconnect with our family, disconnect from our colleagues, and we are very, very focused at work. And if you are already single or you're on your own, it's very important to find a connection. I'm not just talking about connecting to other people. Of course, that's important. But I'm also talking about connection to ourselves. And people can say that's self-awareness. And in another video, I've talked about who am I truly, an awareness of who I am beyond this world of form. So connection to others, connection to ourselves, connection with nature, and the most important thing that you can connect to every single day, even in the midst of your work, is connection with your breath. And a lovely friend of mine said that breath is the portal to the soul. Oh, I just love it. Breath is the portal to the soul. That will just give us a sense that this is all impermanent. Everything I'm taking very, very seriously is not permanent. And just having that pause to reconnect with the breath will remind us of our true nature. So connection is vital. The next way is learn. And it can be a doing thing, or learn this, learn that. And of course, there's doing involved for sure. I would say in terms of the illusionary work-life balance, certainly look at learning to create boundaries, learning to create systems for your work to be effective, for you to work smarter, not harder. You can always bring that learning mindset and ask yourself, what can I learn today? Even when things are not going well, you can ask yourself those right questions. Is there something here I can learn? What's the goal in this for me? The most important thing to learn, I would say, is learning to listen. In my previous video, I've talked about God listening and dog shit listening. If you haven't watched it, I highly recommend you watch it. A stands for active. If you sit at your desk most of the time, I would highly recommend you consider getting a standing desk, because there's a lot of evidence that sedentary habits increases the risk of cardiac problems. Also look at how you can take your steps daily. And the recommended steps are 10,000 steps a day. Get yourself a Fitbit or an Apple Watch. And even if you are in the office space, give yourself this challenge, like how can I still take steps throughout the day? Can I go out in the lunchtime? Can I commute to work and introduce some steps? Can I park the car a bit farther from my office and take the steps so that I meet my daily requirement? So make this fun. Play mini games like this with yourself, and you'll find that you are active. And what I would also say is taking action. A for me stands for being active, but also taking action. Sometimes we know what to do, and we procrastinate, we overthink, and we don't take the action. What I'm saying is, when you know this is good for you, just take action. It's like Nike's famous tagline, just do it. Next we come to N, notice. I think of all the 5 ways to well-being, this is the one that people consider the least, and this is the one that's the most important. It's about noticing. It's about awareness. We are all aware. We are aware that we are alive. We are aware of our surroundings. But when we go in the autopilot mode, we forget. We forget what matters. We forget to notice the small things we could be grateful for. We even forget to notice that we are dehydrated and think we are hungry, for example. So the notice element is key. When we slow down, we start noticing how we are doing with our energy levels. We notice the quality of our thinking. We notice the quality of our being in that moment. And this is not a doing. From time to time, you all just drop into the space, this awareness, and we realize that something is off. So it's about practicing that. It's about slowing down, practicing to slow down when we start noticing. And in that moment, we might see something and it brings a smile on the face. We might notice the flowers that's growing in the garden for the first time. We might also notice that our breath is quite shallow. So it is not a doing. It is a being, a way of being. I would say 5 ways of being rather than 5 ways of well-being. Because when we have these 5 ways of being, well-being follows. We tap into our true well-being. And finally, give. In the last video, I talked about giving ourselves acknowledgement, acknowledging ourselves. When we acknowledge ourselves for the simple things in life, for the small things we have done for ourselves or for others, we are building the muscle of acknowledgement and kindness. And then we also feel like giving acknowledgement, spreading kindness. Most people say giving to others is easy, but I don't like to give to myself. I don't like to acknowledge myself. Well, we can change it. It can become our new way of being. Virginia Satir, who is a world-famous family therapist, talked about hugs. She said we need 4 hugs for survival, 8 hugs for maintenance, and 12 hugs for growth. Now think about it. How many hugs have you given out today? How many hugs have you received today? Again, this is fun. So these 5 ways of being is certainly going to help you expand your energy. And when you feel this contracted energy, you notice it and you know that you can shift. It's like a dance, like I said. And finally, my final tip for today is to switch off from the doing mode and switch on the being mode. You must have heard about the concept of be, do, have. Some people think do, be, have. Or I'll do something and then I'll be happy. And then I will have this, have my goal, have my whatever we are, wanting to create in the world. And actually, the right order is be, do, have. When we are exploring being the best version of ourselves, and asking ourselves questions like, who do I need to be in order to have more fun no matter what? Who do I need to be to bring in lightheartedness into my work and my personal life? When we come from that place and we come from being first, the doing becomes easier, the doing becomes fun because it follows the being. And what follows the doing? Having. We have the outcomes we desire in life and we feel fulfilled. We feel satisfied. We feel joy. I hope this was useful for you. I would love to know what you got out of my sharing from today. Thank you so much for watching.